You ever just look around the house and feel like, why does everything still feel cluttered, even after you've spent so much time decluttering and organizing? Well, this was us. A few years ago, we decided as a family to pursue a minimalist lifestyle, to have more peace in our home and our lives. We decluttered every area of our home, and it was really starting to relieve some of the stress we felt managing all the things for a family of 3 at the time, now 5. But despite all the work that we did and the hundreds of things that we got rid of, we would look around the house and somehow it would still feel like it was cluttered. It was frustrating because we had put all this work and time to declutter, give things away, and reduce our attachment to stuff, but our home still felt busy. So we tried decluttering even more and ravaged through every part of the house again to hopefully fix this, but still the same problem. We then thought maybe we just need to work a little bit harder and keep the house clean all day to fix it. But that still didn't help us feel the peace that we were looking for. This is when we started to notice it's not that we still have too much stuff, because we clearly didn't. But almost every room of our house had visual clutter on the counters, the walls, the surfaces, the floors, and that made every space feel busy. So we went through each part of our home, and over the last few years, we have found so many practical ways to reduce visual clutter for our family, and we want to share them with you, Minimal Fam. When we finally figured this out, it really eased our minds and made us feel like we were finally progressing in our minimalism journey. So, let's start with the kitchen.
After we minimized the kitchen and only kept the things that we actually need and use, I still felt like there was a lot of visual clutter. That's because I always thought the things that we used every day had to be out on top of the counters at all times. Easy access made life easier, or so I thought. I decided to try out putting things underneath in the lower cabinets to, first of all, reduce the visual clutter, but also see how long it really took to pull those things out every day, and if it was actually an inconvenience, or if I was just used to having everything out on display. So we started doing that, and after a couple of days, it just made sense to have everything stored perfectly underneath. This included everything from a crock pot to a knife set that we ended up only keeping a few knives of and getting rid of the rest. This included cutting boards, this included a toaster. So there was quite a few things that we just had out all the time, spices and things like that. Once I put those things that we used away, there was so much more space in the kitchen, and I felt so much more at peace when I was in there making a meal. There was nothing in my way that I had to push aside, and everything could easily be taken out and put back in seconds. One of the ways we reduced the visual clutter in the kitchen was around the sink. I always kept soap out, which would include dishwashing soap and hand soap. I had sponges, a baby bottle cleaner, all of those things just out. So what I started doing was after each use, I would put the soap underneath the sink, and even at the end of the night, when it was time to do one cycle, I would clean the sponges in there as well. Another way we reduced the visual clutter in our home was keys and wallets were constantly being thrown right on top. They were there at any given moment. So we designated a drawer, which a lot of people call the junk drawer. Ours has a purpose, and that is to store those things that we need and use every single day that we just don't want to have out. So keys and wallets are in the first drawer right in the kitchen. Our laundry room happens to be right in the kitchen in a little closet. So instead of having laundry detergent just in there, because there's not even enough room for cabinets or shelves, so what we do is keep the laundry detergent in one of the empty cabinets in the kitchen. All of our appliances fit perfectly in the lower cabinets. Even our larger appliances have a space underneath the cabinet. So there were some that we had to take the shelves out and make just one bigger open cabinet. But our double air fryer, our instant pot, our toaster, our juicer, all of those things have a place. And lucky us, there is a spot in our kitchen that is out of sight It's a cabinet off to the other side of the fridge where we store our Nespresso machine and our Berkey water filter. Even if we didn't have that space, those are the two things that we would leave out at all times. But we just so happen to have it, so that's where those two things are.
When Carlene and I started having kids, it was really important to us to eat dinner together as a family. We knew we needed a space that would draw us in, but the way that we had it set up did not invite us, but rather it made us feel overwhelmed. We actually bought wall art that was trendy at the time, but it was extremely busy. It was from Hobby Lobby and we really loved it, but we realized that it was a little too much. So we took it down and gave it away, and now we don't have anything at all on the walls and it feels so good in the dining room. Also, us keeping the table clear at all times makes the whole space feel open and clean.
One thing about our living room is that it is literally the first thing you see when you walk in the door, which also means it's the place you take off your shoes when you walk in the door. So we've had such an issue with all of the shoes everywhere because I personally don't like walking in the house with dirty shoes from outside. I don't prefer that anyone else does it either inside my home. So we take them off, my kids take them off, and they just end up staying right there. So what we did was we first started with a little basket, but that basket often wouldn't fit all of our shoes. So I ended up switching the kids' empty toy bin because at this point we've donated all of their stuffed animals because they don't like them anymore. So now that that bin was empty, we have used it. It's a wooden toy bin. We've used that now for shoes. So we just throw all the shoes in there and it's no longer visual clutter. It's no longer stressing me out right by the door. Trust me, when you have a 2-year-old who likes to touch everything, he will try to grab the shoes. So it's better that we have them in a place that is secure and the lid closes. So my daughter goes to a speech program every day and she comes home with papers every day. As soon as she walks through the door, she's so excited she wants to show it to us. But here's what she does. She opens her backpack, she empties out, and I'm telling you, for a 2-hour program, she comes home with like 5 papers a day. So she'll show us really quick and then she will just leave them all around. And we have been teaching her not to just empty her backpack and leave things everywhere. But then we decided to give her a spot in the drawer in the kitchen. But that quickly became just a little bit of a mess. So I decided to give her a binder. This binder had clear sleeves in it, and I told her, anything that fits in the binder we can keep. So now when she comes home, she shows us her artwork, and she'll actually decide if she wants to keep something or not, and then the ones that she does want to keep go perfectly in this binder. And this is also great because I feel like giving a child a space that they can see and have control of is so good for them. Kids like to have some kind of control. So when I tell her anything that fits can stay in here, she gets really excited. And eventually, when the binder is filled up, I'll let her go through it and she can decide what she wants to get rid of so that she can make room for more. And let's say she wanted to keep all of it, she can take a picture of some of them and we can send them to her email and always have access to them.
In this day and age, we need cords for everything, and leaving them plugged in, or even worse, having a surge protector full of cords lying around, just made our space feel even more cluttered. Now, what we do is when we're done using them, we roll it up and store it away. As attractive as throw blankets are, kids, they take it literally, and they throw them on the floor. Honestly, since we got rid of them and the throw pillows, the space looks so much cleaner. We also don't keep many decorations because we have a small space and we don't want to feel trapped. We only keep this small wall art that we really love, and also we make sure to hang it at eye level. It really helps visually not come on too strong.
So when it comes to visual clutter, we have involved our kids in helping make the process easier. Believe it or not, the messiest people in this home are typically the toddlers. So they know to put their shoes in the bin. My daughter knows how to put her schoolwork away. They know that if they bring out their blanket to lay on the couch, that blanket has to go right back into the room when they're done. So just instilling in them that there are certain rules in the house has been very helpful with maintaining a nice, peaceful, and clutter-free home.
In the bathroom, the same holds true as most of the house. We were able to solve so much visual overwhelm by clearing our surfaces from all the products and giving them a place to live under the sink and in the drawer. We started storing them in bins and realized it was so much easier to keep organized and visually a lot less noticeable. We do the same for our kids' bathroom. In here and in our bathroom, instead of leaving a few rolls of toilet paper out, we like to store all of it and the diapers and the baby products in the closet, out of sight, out of mind.
When it comes to the bedroom, there are so many things that can become visual clutter. There are so many things that we thought we needed that we actually didn't. A perfect example of this was when we were done decluttering our wardrobe and getting rid of all the things that were in the drawer that we never used. We found that the dresser that had about 8 drawers, I believe, in our room, it no longer served a purpose for us. We didn't feel the need to keep it just for socks and underwear when those things could easily just go in a basket in our closet. For us, the dresser became visual clutter because it was something that we no longer needed or used all the time. And by getting rid of it, we opened up so much free space in our bedroom. No more walking around it or worrying about the kids climbing into it. So for us, it was worth just not having it anymore. Not only did we get rid of our dresser, we also got rid of the dresser in our kids' room because it was the same thing. Everything that they own fit perfectly in the closet. So there was no reason to have an additional drawer for just a few things. This also opened up a ton of space for them to just play freely in their room. Now we just have a few baskets in each closet that hold those few things that would have been in the drawers. When it comes to sheets and things for the bed, we only keep one of each. In our bedroom, we have a mattress protector and a fitted sheet. We don't use the top sheet, and everything gets washed every weekend. So on Saturdays, I clean everything. That includes the pillowcases, the pillows, the blankets, and all of that. I do the same for the kids. And to keep things very simple in our kids' room, their bed sheets are gray and white. So it matches with everything, and no matter where we go, where we move, or what we paint the walls, it just works. And then they have their fun sheets underneath, which are Minnie and Mickey Mouse. Mila's are pink, and my son Zion's are yellow. And yeah, it's still a kid's room. It still looks great. And we only keep one of each.
When we started our minimalism journey, it took us a while to realize that we needed the right habits. Watch this video so you can avoid our mistakes and really make progress quickly. Stay minimal, our friends, and we will see you in the next video.